Okay, so there are two schools of thought when it comes to educators and social emotional learning. Some teachers are in it to win it. They're like, yes, I see the value in it right away. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to sell me on it. Let's do this. Other educators and amazing educators are like, wait a minute. This is a skill that should be taught at home. There is no reason that I should find time in my day to teach kindness. Kindness is a home skill. And I get it. That would be great in like a perfect world, right? But we all know that our students come from very different backgrounds, very different home environments. And kindness, teaching kindness at home is not always going to be a priority of all of our families. So just like all things, teachers become the catch-all. We are the nurses and the librarians, and we're the lovers and the givers, and we make sure they're eating breakfast, and we give them the hugs and the love that they need, that they may not be getting at home. So I wanted to, before we dive into the how-tos, I want to give you the why. And we can give these kinds of whys also to our students, why we focus on social emotional learning. So if you are in it to win it, and this isn't to convince you, use this information though with your colleagues or with your administrators if they haven't bought in yet to the power of social emotional learning. If you're on the fence like, I don't really know why I'm here. I really don't know if this is a good fit for me. I'm kind of, reluctant to even try this. Here is why social emotional learning and teaching kindness and like how to do this and fitting this in, why this is so important in our education system, not as a standalone, but as a crucial building block in our curriculum. Okay, so number one, it improves academics. It makes our students better learners for a couple of reasons. First of all, when students are feeling bullied or unsafe or they're feeling teased, they are not ready to learn anything. Their fight or flight response is going to kick in, right? If a child is being attacked or just in any sort of way, emotionally, mentally, physically, there is no way that they're thinking about the lesson that you're teaching, no matter how amazing it is. They're not going to raise their hand and put themselves out there and maybe risk being wrong or risk being right again and being teased for always knowing the answer or always being the smart one. They're never going to put themselves out there. They're not going to try new things. They're not feeling safe. So they're not feeling safe in your space, in your classroom. So there's no way that they are going to want to even have the capacity to even absorb the amazing curriculum that you've created, right? They're not focusing on standards. They're not going to master the skills you need them to do. However, if we make sure that it's a safe space, that we have taken the time to make sure each of our students feel safe, that they feel good about themselves, they want to be in our classrooms. They want to be there. They want to listen. They want to learn. They want to absorb the information. It increases their motivation. For our older students, it will increase their attendance for showing up because nobody's going to come if they don't like it, right? For our older students, they want to be there. Right? So there's less risk of being wrong. They'll maybe raise their hand and give it a shot. Like, maybe I know the answer. I'm going to do it because they're in a safe space. So it takes away a lot of the barriers for our students who just don't want to be in our classroom. So that's number one. Number two, it physically will become a safer space to be. So 1 in 5 children, by the time they leave elementary school, will have been bullied, will be a bully, or will have seen bullying occur right in front of them. That's a lot of our students, right? If you think about a class of 20, that's a lot of our kids. And it's even higher if we have a kid who's in special education, who has a 504 or has an IEP. It's 1 in 3 for those kiddos. We have to protect our kids emotionally and physically. And bullying runs rampant in schools. It happens in our inner city schools, our rural schools, our suburban schools, the distinguished, any award a school has, bullying is happening there. It happens right under those amazing kindness posters. I've watched it happen with my own eyes. So we have to create a safer space for our students. That is part of our job. And bullying happens mostly on the yard when adults aren't around, but it happens in classrooms right under teachers' noses. I promise you it's happening. And that falls under our purview of paying attention so that our kids are safe and feel safe. Number 3, it creates a positive classroom community, a classroom environment. For our elementary school teachers, you're spending 6 to 8 hours with these kids every day, kind of trapped in a little box, right? This is why I spent a lot of time on my classroom environment making it pretty, because I had to look at it for 6 to 8 hours. Just like this, you're spending time with these kids for a majority of your day. Who would you rather spend time with, right? Those kids who are mean-spirited, who tease, who put others down, who make fun of people, Or would you rather have those helpful kids who are kind and generous and thoughtful and are just sweet to be around? Like, I choose those kids, right? I would much rather be around kind, thoughtful, generous kids who want to help, who genuinely want to help others, than the mean-spirited, nasty, like the teasing, the constant just put downs, the eye rolls. That doesn't excite me as an educator. I don't want to be around those kids. I would much rather surround myself with these kinds of kids. And when we teach social emotional learning, when we teach kids how to be kind, how to interact in a positive way, we are creating the classroom environment or the school environment that we want and deserve as educators. It's not fun to be around nasty people all the time. We can create the environment that we want, create this classroom environment that we deserve. These social emotional learning activities, curriculum, little tiny printables, whatever you're doing, however you're fitting it into your curriculum, it's teaching other skills that are on your list of standards that are required by your state. Things like problem solving, conflict resolution, listening and speaking skills, relationship skills, right? How to interact with other people. It teaches teamwork and collaboration. If they're able to learn how to do that now, they can do it on the science project later. Responsible decision making, deciding what is right and what is wrong and how to stand up to peers, how to figure out that peer pressure, how to be the best versions of themselves. It teaches responsibility. It teaches perseverance and cooperation and resilience and advocacy skills. Learning how to stand up for yourself or standing up for someone else is an incredible skill to have. And it lets you, as an educator, play referee less, right? They all come in from recess and, oh my gosh, there was drama and she did this and then she did this and then he did this and he, oh my gosh, and he did this and I'm so mad. You get to be referee less because you are over time going to teach them how to interact with each other in positive ways, so you don't have to hear all of that because they've already figured it out on the yard. But we can't just say, hey, go figure it out. We have to give them the tools and the resources and the words, physically the words. Try saying this. We have to give them those words so they have the skills in order to be able to deal with it on their own. And the last thing social emotional learning really focuses on, it focuses on increasing their emotional intelligence, right? Being able to label their emotions then allows them to deal with those big emotions. So you have less angry outbursts or those big, scary, hairy emotions at kids. It pents up, and then they explode. So it decreases behavior issues, which means your kids then are in your classroom more and in the principal's office less. It helps with self-regulation and coping skills, and they become more self-aware of their own body and thinking about what they're saying and what they're doing before they do it. These are all skills that are essential that our kids need to have by the time they're out in the world on their own. And like I said, yeah, it would be great if they learn this stuff at home, right? That's in a perfect world, but we know some of our students might get it and some of our students never will. And we can fill in the blanks because it's going to help them become better students. It's going to help them become better people, and it's going to make them be people that we want to spend more time with. Okay, so it's teaching them these extra skills, it's building up their emotional intelligence, it's making our school and classroom a safer place, it is creating better learners, priming them to be ready to learn, to want to even be ready to listen because they feel safe and they feel like they are in a trusted place where they're wanted and they're included. We can create that, and social emotional learning curriculum does all of that. So those are just a few of the reasons why social emotional learning has a prominent place in our everyday curriculum. Okay, next what we're gonna do is we are gonna be focusing on clear expectations. So we know what we're teaching, we know exactly, super clear how to set ourselves up so that we then can teach this in a really simple way. I'll see you in the next video.